Greetings, geeks. Welcome to Geeks in Space transmission number 686. I'm Rob Commander Taco Malda. We are here for an extra special episode because we have Cliff Lampy with us today. Good morning, Cliff.
Hi, y'all.
And Chris DeBona.
Hello.
Rob Roseboom.
Yeah, hi.
You guys don't get as much fanfare. I see you a lot.
No, Cliff's our prodigal, you know?
That's right. Every so often, once every blue moon, I get to come back.
Well, you're the one that has the real job. I guess they have real jobs too. I'm the one that's a bum.
Yeah, you're a homeless hobo.
Layabout.
A layabout, a slack.
That's right. Well, let's start at we got a couple of spacey things at the end of the list. We've got fancy new sleeping bags. How are you guys sleeping whilst in orbit these days?
I think I snore a little too much. You know, that's a problem. But orbit is a good place to stay COVID negative.
Oh, that's true. You still got the test ticking.
No, it's done.
Oh, yeah, you're negative.
Yeah,
good job.
You guys are sleeping?
Have you just been up there for 686 episodes wide awake?
Explains a lot. I've been feeling really run down lately.
You need sleep? Huh? Go figure.
And my chair has become very temperamental.
So the story is that NASA has a new sleeping bag, which is going to prevent eyeball squishing.
The story.
And the picture of it is very comical, but the story is well known. Your eyeball distorts. If you spend 6 months in the space station, you basically end up wearing reading glasses, which presents an issue for, our Lord and Savior Elon Musk, who will triumphantly ride atop his flaming unicorn leading us all to Mars.
Our what now? Our Lord and
Savior. I don't know. The internet likes Elon Musk.
He has a unicorn?
A flaming unicorn.
The fact that he doesn't have a robot unicorn is
he's a space unicorn. That's a huge.
But why did he set it on fire?
To get to Mars.
Right. Anyway, so but when he gets there, he'll have better eyesight because of this wacky sleeping bag.
Yeah, they have this contraption that I guess slurps the pressures of your body's fluids down into your feet.
From the waist down, that thing works. Like I don't know where you keep your eyes, but my eyes are in the opposite part of my body.
My eyes are on you guys. I don't trust you.
Okay, I want to read a portion of this article. Dr. Levine discovered SANS by flying cancer patients aboard zero-G parabolic flights. They still had ports in their heads to receive chemotherapy.
Oh no!
Which gave researchers an access point to measure pressure within their brains.
Oh no!
So what that means is they're sticking them on those fun zero-G flights, and they're like, hold on. Let me go into the head hole.
Let me just stick this in your matrix plug.
Oh, that's amazing.
But
it was for science, so everything was cool.
What kind of IRB would that have had to have been?
Wow. Can you imagine? They're like, so what we're going to do, we're going to go on this plane and I'm going to
cancer patients.
I mean, they're cancer patients. They're going to die anyway. So let's go ahead and go to town.
They've already got plugs in their head, so we have convenient access.
Well, I mean, actually, this is why a lot of IRBs exist, is to say, no, I mean, you should try anything with these people.
Totally.
Otherwise, the downside is they're going to die. So, and that, I mean, it opened up a lot of the AIDS research, So it's
I'd like to think I'd be brave
the IRB is here just to say no. They're here to say yes.
That's true.
Plus,
but
those dudes
are there to make sure that the juice is worth the squeeze. Right?
Lampy Law.
The juice is worth it. That's an amazing.
I'm
going to use that.
We could have an entire episode,
Cliff.
We could have an entire episode of Lampy Laws.
Okay. Okay. This episode's title is the juice worth the squeeze?
That's Lampy rule number 2: is the juice worth the squeeze?
Is the juice worth? That's amazing. Thank you, Cliff.
You should be calling these the Lampy Laws. They sound more scientific.
Plus, it's got that LL thing from Superman.
The alliteration. Yeah, you can be a DC comic character.
Lampy Laws, right?
The Lampy Laws. well, I mean, the stories that story is just, it is what it is. Like, neat. The NASA,
That is a neat one. Yeah.
the NASA, what was it? Prodigy? What's the name of the sun thing?
The sun.
Parker-
That's
the
called.
Parker,
It's called the sun.
the
right?
Parker probe.
Oh, the Parker the
also
Parker-
also
Oh, yeah.
alliterated.
the Parker proby probe.
You pick a pike of pickled Parkers. Pick a peck of pickled Parkers.
Parker poked perihelion, and
Ooh.
then
So this probe has grazed. Was it the corona? Is that the ionosphere? I can't remember which threshold, which arbitrary threshold of the sun they decided for this. It's the same problem we've talked about with the Voyager probe, how every 6 months the Voyager probe travels through some new thing and we decide it's further away now. It's
There
the
you go.
corona.
yeah,
And it gets to do orbits for a while now.
and
uh,
it looks like it passed the Alfred and the Chipmunk service here. Yeah.
Alvin. Yeah, every loop it gets closer.
That is a hell of a thing, though, right? That is.
Yeah, that's pretty spectacular. Cliff, you can keep going. I'm sorry.
No, that was
Yeah,
it.
pretty
That's a
big
hell of a thing. That's like that. I'm usually pretty cynical about humans, but that kind of scientific achievement makes me feel a little bit better about humans.
Yep. Sometimes we do something cool. Other times we wear radioactive necklaces to protect us from 5G.
We're the same species.
Yep.
I can't believe that.
Yeah,
That
this
is something.
Watching a Chihuahua hump a Saint Bernard, right? Like, yeah, I guess you guys are technically the same thing.
Wow. So the NASA scientists, are they the Chihuahuas or the Saint Bernards?
That's, I'll leave that up to the listener. To
Are they from
decide.
Michigan? Because then they're St. Bernards. That's the thing we decided earlier.
Fair enough. Christopher on in the channel says this is a special Christmas Cliff episode.
It is. It is.
It's good.
Sorry, I'm trying to change my background to be that sun picture.
Oh,
So I'm a little distracted.
well, all right then. We'll
Okay, but let's go back to the important 5G turning necklaces. Because that's
where it's
gonna
at.
work. Well,
Yep.
so the UCSF put out their grand rounds on COVID. So they do these online meetings and they basically talk about what's going on in the hospital system. And they're talking about the transmissibility of Omicron, and the rest. And then one of the doctors says, "Oh, but the American surge, it's almost completely Delta that's destroying the hospital system."
Cool.
I'm like, oh, that's great.
Cool.
You
I feel
know?
better.
So,
This is
yeah,
gonna be fun.
so we haven't had an Omicron surge yet. That's
No.
coming later, and it's like, oh, happy holidays.
Yep. Merry Christmas.
So the 5G conspiracy theories, like they were pre-COVID conspiracy. Like there's an overlap here, but not a complete accordance, right?
Right.
Like,
Well, the overlap is probably in that there are a population that are scientifically illiterate, for whom these magical cures would be real.
Yeah.
Also, Bill Gates, mind control thing. I mean, that's serious business.
And so there's a YouTuber who goes around and finds these thorium and americium and other necklaces and wellness aids, and he gets them thrown off Amazon and stuff. And it's like quantum pendant.
Quantum pendant. Yeah, that's what this
What a
one's
bunch
called.
of
Experts say that
assholes.
5G will change the way we live. So we're not just
Wait,
talking.
where's that
That
coming
was
from?
me. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Well,
It was the same story, but I
you're still looking for Christmas presents, folks.
That's right.
Family member who won't get vaccinated. Here you go.
I got a few of those. I realize that you like your family so little that you're not willing to be vaccinated. So I guess we'll see you in 2022.
In the meantime, here's a lovely medallion.
Oh my god!
I had
Well,
to
so
ship
here's
it
the
in a lead box.
Maybe, just maybe, these people took that medallion, they put it somewhere they weren't supposed to,
Dude.
and then they ended
Richard
up on
Geared
the
it.
Vomit Comet, and are being tested for fluid buildup in the head. Maybe they're saying I can be helpful to science through my ignorance.
I have some
No?
sympathy towards conspiracy theorists, though,
Oh, for
right?
sure.
Like, I mean, given that
Yeah.
a good chunk of the people I know still worship a desert mountain god, like, I figure it's all
Yeah.
relative.
Yeah.
An interdimensional being that can listen to every thought in your mind and then will eternally punish you if you violate a
Dude,
set of rules
Rob's
that
on the
aren't
call.
obliterated. Oh,
He's right there. Don't
oh.
invoke Zen. You know?
He is the most powerful
Shit, he's
force.
getting upset.
No.
He's gonna smite us.
It was him. It was him. It was him. It wasn't
Rob.
me.
I let you use my name, Rob.
Only because we share it.
I was Rob first.
I know. Technically, you were Rob first.
You
It
were
shames
Rob.
me. Every day I get up out of bed and just rage for 20 minutes.
Hey, can I ask a question? Do any of you
Sure.
have a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X or S?
No.
Mhm.
Okay, because that's the one that can run that Matrix.
I
Awakens
know,
thing.
and I check Best Buy a couple
I'm
of
not gonna
times
go
a week.
buy one of these things just for that, but I'm like, dude,
Well, I
bring it
want-
to PC.
I want a PlayStation 5 so I can play Miles Morales, but I can't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's it.
but I've been trying to get one since they came out. I've been trying to get a 3080 and a PlayStation 5 for a year now.
Wow.
I check Best Buy almost every day. I check Amazon.
I wonder how San did it, because San got like a pile of 3080s. I'm like, that guy's amazing.
Well, you can
So.
scalp him too. He has a deep-pocketed employer.
I it might have been connected to that, but yeah, he gave me his 2080 Ti. That's what I'm running on this thing. So it's a nice piece of kit.
Yeah, I got a 2070 Super, and had I known what we were in for, I would have sprung for the 2080 Ti or something in the slightly more pricey range. Because I mean, you could sell it right now and make more than list at this point.
Well, that's the thing. It's like the resale prices are nutty, man.
Yep. So Denis Villeneuve, can't pronounce it. He's directing Rendezvous
He
with
did fine.
Rama. I don't know what this
Yeah.
is, but people say it's a big deal.
So it is a Arthur C. Clarke wrote it early in his career, and it's about they go to space and orbit a big, like a large colony basically appears, right? I mean, it's been 35 years since I read the damn thing.
Do you guys think that there's something that separates a sci-fi director from just a director? Like, is there a thing about sci-fi movies that make it so that one person's better at directing them than another?
I mean, because what did Denny do that was not sci-fi?
Dune, Arrival, Blade Runner. I mean, these are pillars at this point of.
Yeah, but like,
right.
why not have? I don't know, like McGee.
He did Sekiro, which
do
was
this,
not a
right?
sci-fi, but it was very good.
I mean,
I think this guy's just a good director. Do you think it's just his love for sci-fi that draws
I
him
think-
to sci-fi,
yeah.
or is it something else? Like he's just
I-
better at sci-fi?
I think that if I had to try to figure him out, I think he did a lot of remarkable directing and showed he could both make great movies, award-winning movies, and make a little bit of money here and there. And then he was able to be given these mega budget things. I think that's what he always wanted.
Well,
I want to be the Dune guy.
I think this is more of a marketplace kind of thing. The only $200 million movies that are being made are basically comic book movies and superhero movies, or the really over-the-top action movies.
Yeah.
They're like anything else. Like we're not really putting the mega money. So there might be really good directors making $20 million rom-coms, but they're not famous directors who we're going to know their names. So I think that's kind of a chicken egg thing. I also think that the coolest movies to a 13-year-old boy were probably for gentlemen our age, for which most of the directors we're talking about, the movies that they grew up with, the Star Wars, the Star Treks, the Predators, the Aliens, the people who tend to be the guys that get these jobs grew up with these things. I think maybe maybe it would be a fair comparison to think about like awesome mob movies that came out or awesome Western movies. Those directors were people that grew up, in generations before us, where those were the big hits, the big Westerns of the 50s and 60s is why we got, and mob movies of that era is why we end up with Godfathers and that sort of thing. That I don't know. That's my theory.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
In which case we can
because
expect a sci-fi winter, right? Like, just like there hasn't been a good Western made in the past, 15 years?
I didn't want. Did you watch that one with Idris Elba on
did.
Netflix? Was that good? I want to see that.
It is visually really awesome. Everybody puts in a really good performance. It's all style. I didn't care at all about the story. But it is some of the most beautiful Western footage that you will see. Like everything is these really good colors. The skies are blue and really blue. Everything is I'm so sick of every movie that you watch being Matrix green tinged, that sort of stuff. And that movie it's pretty. But that said, Western ain't my genre. And it has a lot of style. It's
all been downhill since Silverado.
Since The Quick and the Dead.
Silverado was all right. I actually like that. It was good.
Yeah, it's one of
been
my
a long
favorite,
time since I've seen it. Boy,
like sort of Hollywood Western movies.
That'd be a good Geeks in Space movie, actually.
Silverado.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, we could do a whole wrap up of 80s and 90s Westerns,
Right. Hey, look what Lawrence Kasdan can do. Oh, that's not nearly as good as when he's a writer.
So I'm looking at a list of movie budgets, right? And I'm on the 1000th or 1001th, you know, and I've gotten under 60 million for the budgets here. And it's just
it's sequels, comic books, and sci-fi dramas.
Yeah, until you
action.
get below 50 million or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it's funny what's here though. Like Captain Phillips was 55 million in budget. I mean, and made 4 times that, Rambo, 47 million. I think these are adjusted for time, Star Trek First Contact was 46,000. It's 46 million.
That was the budget? Those things are notoriously cheap, I suppose.
Maybe they're not fixing for time. That would be freaking annoying.
No, that's too small.
This is worthless.
I reject this field.
I reject this website.
That's right.
So Rendezvous with Rama, though, that's the big cylindrical, almost O'Neill colony, but enormous that comes into the solar system, and people go and check it out. So hijinks ensue.
Speaking of science fiction, the Hugo Awards were this weekend.
The Hugo Awards. That's so cool. No, I went to it. It was super fun. I love going to the Hugo Awards. I really enjoy it.
I saw Murderbot Diaries won some stuff. That was a fun one.
Yeah, Martha Wells won 2 Hugo Awards, one for series, one for the last Murderbot novel. I guess it qualifies as a novel, yeah. Network Effect. So there you go.
Jenny Nicholson lost, so all is wrong.
Yeah. Oh, one of the cool things about the Hugos is as you go to the sort of closing reception, they pass you a book with all of the votes. I mean, they don't say who voted, particularly, but they show how many people voted for a given, nominee in their voting system. It's incredible.
Nicely transparent.
It's incredibly transparent. And the cool thing about it, someone I was there with was like, I'm not sure I would want to know. And I was like, oh, I'd love to know. Are you kidding? This is incredible, right? And so while I thought Jenny Nicholson was a favorite because the last BronyCon was incredible, and I just think she's a remarkable commenter on science fiction items and fantasy items. She was like the third from the bottom or the second from the bottom in the voting.
I can see that. It's a YouTube video.
Yeah, but still, it was really interesting. So
I'm trying to get N.K. Jemisin to come speak at an event, and her
let me just pay her.
It's less expensive to appear than I would have thought. It's not too bad.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, they're still writers, so they're not as
they're hungry.
Expensive. Well, could be worse. They could be influencers or
Ooh.
well, Clayton
Professor.
Christensen famously, I think it was like what 55 grand minimum plus expenses back
I
when he was
even
alive.
went to him one time. I was at one of those events.
Yeah, I've been to one of them, and I don't
It was
I don't get the appeal.
it was not
so,
worth 55 grand. It was not worth
Yeah.
10 grand. I've given speeches that were at least as interesting.
Yeah, I was actually surprised that the Old Guard won. I mean, I would have thought that it would
Weak.
have gone to Palm Springs
Weak.
because that was way better.
Well, that was the thing that got me
All
is
political.
yeah. No, I thought that was maybe the weakest movie on that list.
The Old Guard?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Eurovision's
I
rough.
agree. Is it?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
I
Birds
don't
of Prey
recommend
was
it.
pretty rough too.
You know,
Yeah.
I watched it a couple more times after my first screening in the theater, and once you come to grips with the fact that it's two different directors, kind of, and they don't mesh right,
Mhm.
it's like if you can like shut your brain off, like okay, now it's the action director's turn to do their things, and then turn your brain off. Okay,
Yeah.
now it's the charming, fun, like weird, silly movie. Like if
Like
you
if-
can,
Like if you can learn to like a bunch of pancakes and sushi together, you'll
Yeah.
What a
love
mix.
Birds of Prey.
that's not an unfair comparison. Although I know you say it to make fun of me, but it is like they made a really nice sushi and waffle dinner. Like,
Well,
I can
it's worth
respect
pointing
it.
out that you can get those enoki, the pancakes with the scallions and the octopus and the bonito flakes, and those are fucking good. So
Yeah, but they're not
mm,
slathered in maple syrup and butter.
covered in wasabi.
it's true. And then with a soupçon of shitty movie that Rob is the only person who likes.
I'm not
So-
saying it's a good movie. I'm saying that it's two movies that don't serve each other well by being in the same 60 minute or same 90-minute runtime.
Okay. Well, so I thought that it was going to go to Tenet, or it was going to go to Seoul, or it was going to go to Palm Springs. I wanted Palm Springs to
all
win
three of those
because,
are acceptable movies to me.
well, Tenet, you know, I get why people like it and why it would
Love
win
it.
an award because it was technically proficient. I thought it was a terrible movie. But The Old Guard was just okay. You know, it was like a rewarmed Highlander, and you know, and not very well rewarmed.
I would
you know,
rewatch
it's sort of cold in
anything-
the center. You know,
I would rewatch any movie on that list right now if asked to, but I would not watch The Old Guard.
I would just be bored silly, you know, and also a little disappointed at what they could have done with it. You know,
It's getting a
So-
sequel.
Is it Well, that's
Really?
good.
That's what I hear.
Maybe they won't screw it up. Cliff's like, that's terrible. So here's the thing, Cliff. I know what you're thinking. Like, this is just rewarmed, you know, Highlander, right? This is
Yeah.
just rewarmed
Yeah.
the story we've heard a million times before.
Eternals.
But isn't Palm Springs as well? You know, I think that we're in a golden age to redo some stuff, whether it's Gateway or Rendezvous with Rama. They're just doing it.
I mean,
I think it's okay to redo some of these things, update them for the modern technology sensibilities where we think humanity is going, and do a really great job with it, like Palm Springs.
I mean, to be fair, the themes of Soul are pretty well worn too,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Like, and on top of that, that movie was just plain boring.
I didn't watch
Yeah.
it, so
You
my
should
kids
watch
are
it.
Old enough that I haven't watched it. So.
You should watch it. It's boring.
Is it?
It's gorgeous.
Well, and remember, what was the one with the things in the head?
The Matrix.
Matrix.
No, Dum Dums. The Pixar movie with the people in the girl's head.
Inside Out.
Inside Out.
Inside Out, which was just Herman's head,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
So Herman's Head is a vastly underappreciated bit of
it's a
90s
remarkable
sitcom.
show.
I
mean,
rewatched it. Not
It was
that
the
long
good
ago.
place of its time. It was very
Well,
brave.
and that was the other
and-
nominee that I just wanted to mention is The Good Place.
Well, they won.
They
you
won
know,
their
so-
category.
And also, I want to say something about Michael Schur. So the thing about the long form one, these people never show up to accept their awards. They're way too important for the Hugos.
Sure.
But Michael Schur, he recorded a whole thing. It was very funny and charming, and I think this is his third Hugo for The Good Place. And you know, the guy shows up. He's a mensch. So I'm like, I'm glad.
And I
he won.
gotta say, almost this entire list for short form is
It's
entirely
great.
better and more watchable than
For
anything in
sure.
the long form.
Yeah. Everything except
Although I
She-Ra
didn't
is
watch the
good.
She-Ra, so
It's
I did.
I've
It was
seen it.
great.
It's okay.
yeah.
I think it's better.
This
than
wasn't
okay.
the He-Man update. This is a different thing, right? Are they even?
This
the
is a
same
different
universe?
thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not
They
up on
don't
my
look,
He-Man
feel,
and
or sound
She-Ra.
alike. And I didn't care about the Doctor Who, but Doctor Who's been pretty dang rough these last few years.
It really has. I don't even know this episode. Is this one of the charities? Yeah.
I wouldn't even know which episode that is. Doctor Who episodes now I put on, and then
They all just
42
mush
minutes later
together.
it's done, and I'm like, well, what happened? And I'm like, I can't remember any of it.
And there's a lot of running. Yeah.
Oh.
So there's a really good Doctor Who oriented band. God, what's it?
Is it the Who?
No.
Thank you, Cliff.
Chameleon Circuit. They're really good. You should go listen to them on Spotify.
All right.
They're super fun, and yeah, like.
So hey,
yeah.
I got 3 things that we can just briefly
Wait,
mention.
let me scroll down on the Hugo
I thought we
Awards,
were done
see
with
if there's
those.
anything else we care about. Oh, semi-prozine. No, fanzine. So here's the thing. These are just blogs that review science fiction. We could totally win this.
All right.
Or fan.
Is that our new
I'm
goal?
just saying. Our goal should be to get nominated, and then 5 to 10 years later, get a Hugo. So
That sounds like work.
it is work.
Yeah. Quality
So there you
content
go.
production.
And they did a 1-year only best video game one. So I don't know why it's only 1 time only, but yeah, I actually thought The Last of Us Part 2 would win because of it's kind of baity like that, but like,
Sure.
yeah, but Hades ended up winning. So.
They should add the H to the EGOT so it can be the he got, or should it be the
EGOT.
EGOT?
Yeah. So
Well, that should be our goal. Let's just really be ridiculous.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's this is where you found Lindsay Ellis here in the new writer for her book, and then
I actually have that sitting on my shelf somewhere, and I haven't.
Let us know how it is. Is it any good? I don't know.
I'll let you know. I'm halfway through like 4 books, and I'm doing a really bad job of finishing books these days.
Yeah. Oh, so here's the thing. So the Hugo Award changes every year. They use a different design, and they try to theme it for the location. So the one they did this time, it was held at Discon, which is in Washington D.C. So I think the star, I honestly don't know what the star's for, but they have a piece of the base here on the card, and the base is made from the same quarry where they got the rock for the Washington Monument. So I thought that was very interesting.
Fancy.
And so the stone on the card was ground from excess base material by the Hillgarten National Stone Company in Baltimore. And then everyone was making sort of tittery jokes about the original stone came from Beaver Dam Stone at Hawkeyesville, Maryland. There you go. Everyone is going tee-hee about that.
Twitter.
Oh, I see they rammed a Beaver Dam with their Hawkeyesville stone. So people were trying to.
It was hard.
It was it's very known for its hardness.
Yep.
So
this is up for next year's Hugos for sure.
Yeah, for sure. We're
This is some
nominated.
good work.
Sign us up.
Some good work here.
Yep. We're nailing it. To be fair, they clearly nailed it.
Speaking of good nerd books, you know the guy who read all the Marvel comics?
Whoa.
There's a guy who read them all?
Yeah, Douglas Wilkes.
Oh, no.
He just read every Marvel comic.
Oh.
He wrote a book about it called All the Marvels. I just finished that book.
Wow.
Hmm.
So one of the comic authors, Cecil Castellucci, she's worked on a bunch of different titles. She's been watching every single Disney movie.
No.
And reviewing
No.
them. Like going back to the very beginning. It's sometimes painful, but she's having a great time. You should.
I wonder how hard it would be to lie about that.
Pretty easy.
Reading all the Marvel, how's anyone going to check?
Yeah, really. It's
like
fine.
I've rewatched the MCU a couple of times, but now it's kind of to the point like I ain't gonna go and rewatch Agent Carter. You know what I mean? Like
No.
Hey.
Don't mess with Cliff.
I'm not saying Agent Carter is bad. I'm telling you, I'm not okay. I'm not gonna go rewatch season 5 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That's just never gonna happen.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, okay. We get it.
to be clear, Agent Carter's good.
Yeah, well, but I'm probably never going
Parts
to
of Agents of
rewatch it.
Shield were good. Come on. Actually,
First season
I have to
was
tell
good.
you, their Ghost Rider, I actually really liked in Agent of Shield. I thought it was solid, man. You know, and I loved Ghost Rider growing up. I know that's really embarrassing. Like, but yeah, really good.
That's
Yeah.
really embarrassing.
Yeah, that's your humiliation.
It wasn't a
Like
good
Ghost Rider?
comic. It wasn't a good comic. And then the Nick Cage thing happened. That was so bad. I mean, you wanted to vomit. You know. Here's the thing about Worldcon. So what happens is every Worldcon they vote on where the Worldcon will be in 2 years.
Yeah.
Right. So 2 years ago they voted for DC. A year ago it was virtual and weird, and nobody knew what was going on. And then ChiCon is going to be the host of Worldcon in Chicago in September. But then China, Chengdu, wanted to be the host for 2023. I was really surprised that they won over Winnipeg in Canada. So I was like, oh boy, that's really interesting. And a lot of people are like, oh, it's a dictatorship. We can't go to China. And I'm like, you know, we make people go to New Zealand. We make people go to Australia. We make people go to America. It's like, I don't know. It's so different, you know? So it's very interesting though. So
I mean, that is a tough one. The recent crackdown on LGBTQIA,
and there's a
folks,
lot of that at science fiction conventions and world.
Like, I'd be a little worried if I was a sci-fi attendee.
Yeah.
But
and also, they're all going to need to get visas. You know, it's like, I don't think they realize, I mean, a Canadian visa is a weird thing. Like, I've got a 10-year visa from a couple of years back, but like, it's not trivial. I'm wondering, like, I mean, it'll be a very China oriented one, obviously. So, but yeah, it's really something.
So, Chris, show us the first official image from James Cameron's Avatar 2. Look at that. Who cares? Nobody? All right. So, Hawkeye.
Yeah.
I'm actually really looking forward. I will probably be
why would
getting
that be your first official image? What about that's evocative or interesting?
I don't even know who that is.
She's got like a mask on, right? She's going to go in the water. She's in the water with a mask.
Why do you assume it's a woman? I mean, I'm not sure it's a woman or a man.
I can't tell who that is.
And is this supposed to be one of those like masks from the Abyss? You know, is he going to finally bring the Abyss and Avatar together in the same universe?
No, it looks like there's chain link involved.
Oh, this is so dumb.
I just can't care about Avatar in the slightest. So Hawkeye is going to come.
Wait. I want to talk about this. So there's a wire here. There's, I guess, a sweater or something red.
You're looking at something I think that we're not.
Yeah.
Here.
Oh, you just zoomed in.
Here. There. So this is like, I have a ski mask that has a defogging fan, but that's not what this is. This is probably for a microphone or something, right? And then what is this red? Is that neoprene? Is this person just basically swimming? And then I was making the Abyss joke because maybe this is one of the ones filled with liquid, you know, from the Abyss.
Yeah, I don't think that's clothing. I think that's just the water behind whoever this is.
No, this is
because they're moving.
That's a ripple.
Yeah.
These are ripples. This is
their
that's their butt or their shoulder.
Maybe it's a merman.
Their back
or a mermaid.
Oh yeah, maybe it's a
flipper.
Hunchback. Oh, maybe it's finally he's merging the Hunchback universe, the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
You know what it is? It's probably gills.
Oh yeah,
you figured it out.
Yeah.
It's Waterworld 3.
It's Waterworld, and it's such a lazy freaking movie. I can't believe so many people went to go see it. You know,
it's
a dumb picture.
It's a historic fluke.
I did, but
it's Fern Gully. It's Dances with Wolves.
It is Fern Gully.
It's a lot longer than Fern Gully.
Yeah, that's true. A lot more painful to watch.
It is a completely okay. It is the okayest movie.
It is amongst a movie that came out once.
But anyway, Hawkeye.
I will be getting up tomorrow morning, making my cup of coffee, and watching the season finale of Hawkeye.
I am thoroughly enjoying Hawkeye. They have a lot to wrap up in the season finale here.
Are we?
Yeah, they do.
Are we spoiling, or is Chris caught up?
I don't mind. I mean, I watched the first couple. They were okay. My family seems completely uninterested in watching it, so I'm gonna probably watch it on airplanes and
That's
stuff as I
fair.
go back and forth. Yeah.
So I just wanted to say, I thought that the way that they handled, spoiler, Christopher and Ambaloo, I thought that when they handled Yelena's viewpoint of the blip, I thought that was like one of the coolest things.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that. That sounds
they've
really
done.
neat.
I thought that was visually astonishing. I thought that it was cool character moment. I'm all in. I loved it.
And I thought the charisma that what's her name showed in that little interaction between Yelena and Kate,
The
like
Pug.
when they're, yeah, with the Pug, like the charisma she showed in that scene was just fantastic, right? Like
She's extraordinary.
she was so watchable.
I think that I have high hopes for whatever is coming in Phase 4. And there's a lot of weak stuff in there, but I think that Haley Steinfeld and the Pug, like they might be the two strongest additions in the last like in Phase 4. I like both of them a lot. They have all the charisma.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That scene was just fat, like especially like it's an old classic, right? Like two potential adversaries interview each other and still like each other, kind of thing. Blah blah blah.
mutual respect.
Yeah, so well done.
And we get the Vincent D'Onofrio blurry reveal in the last 30 seconds.
That's exciting. Yeah, I'd heard about that.
So here's my question now. The WandaVision show had the Quicksilver that may or may not have been a variant. And this obviously has Vincent D'Onofrio, who may or may not have been a variant. Loki had variants all over the place. Was there any character in Falcon and the Winter Soldier who would have made a good argument that it was a variant?
I
Boring in the boring
thought the Defenders were canon in this universe.
That's always been up for debate. Because there is enough stuff in the Netflix stuff that I guess conflicts. That people contest it, but
yeah, it can't be 616, but yeah,
why not?
I'm not the expert. There's a bunch of things.
I just really want Charlie Cox. You know that.
Yeah.
Well, they booked Charlie Cox to
confirmed.
play Daredevil. Like he's signed.
Yep.
That's really cool. I can't. Yeah, you guys have to go see Spider-Man, I guess, and see if he's in
there, so. That's I'll open up my other tab and see if I can find a movie theater that's got less than 30 people in it today. I've been checking every showtime at my theaters since opening day to find a theater that's not overcrowded so I can go see it. I don't want to get Omicron over Spider-Man.
I am going tonight.
Yeah.
At 6 p.m. Omicron be damned.
Are you going to the same theater we usually go to?
No, I'm going to the Saline Theater. I'm bringing my 9-year-old, who also can get COVID for all I care.
That's parenting.
Yeah, I mean, they're unlikely to get Delta in the way that they would get Omicron, and Omicron probably hasn't reached you guys yet. So yeah, it's a good.
Any lampy who fights it from disease that's not alcoholism deserves what they get.
I'm sure it's here now. I was reading a story this morning that like 90% of all new cases or something.
Yeah.
So I linked in the channel the UCSF Grand Rounds about COVID. It's really interesting. So they're saying that the surge we're seeing is actually more of a holiday Delta surge, and that an Omicron surge is coming later. So, enjoy Delta.
They were saying that in Michigan. I think it might be the majority now, but I'm not sure. It was a high percentage.
Maybe new cases, but hospitalization. So
well, that's the thing. I still think Omicron.
It's a really fascinating thing.
Sign.
Definitely check it out. So that's all.
I think it's a great sign that Omicron's taken over.
Yeah.
Because it tells me that the virus is mutating to an endemic phase, and that's great.
Yeah. Yay. Gentlemen. We're at the 38-minute mark. Let's leave on that downer. I will hopefully see Spider-Man before we gather again, and I kind of doubt we'll chat on Friday. It's Christmas Eve, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
All right. Well, then it could be some time before we gather again.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
I'll be here, but
yeah, I mean, I can do it.
all right.
So.
We'll see how it works. Thanks for joining us, Cliff.
Yeah,
Cliff,
thanks
you're
for
the
having me. I
best.
appreciate it.
You're always welcome. We miss you. Goodbye, Chris DeBona.
I'll see you.
Goodbye, Rob Roseboom.
Bye.
I was Rob Commander Taco Malda. That was Geeks in Space. We'll see you when we see you. Bye.